Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I wanted to make the talking segment a little earlier in this week's video because I'm away at the weekend. Normally I film Monday through Friday and I edit on a Friday evening, and then I upload the video on Saturday morning for patrons and then make it public on Sunday. This week I'm going away on Friday, which obviously affects things a little bit. So I wanted to, I guess, add something a little more worthwhile to this week's video to make up for how short it'll be. So I thought that I would talk a little about how I use my notebooks. It's a recurring question that I get in the comments, and it's not as complicated, I think, as people think it is. So I'm using the Hobonichi notebooks. This is a cover from 2021, I think. And I have a cover on cover, which is the plastic protective cover. In the back I keep some stickers. I don't tend to use them because the pocket's not super easy to get into all the time, but I do like to have them there in case I do want to use them. I'm using two notebooks inside the cover. I'm using the Hobonichi A6 avec, so you have two books for the year. The first book is until June, and then the second book is July through December. And it's the Japanese version because the avec only comes in the Japanese version, I think. In the front I keep stamps, just in case. This is one of my old business cards, I just use it as a bookmark. I have some emergency money, and then I have these traveler's notebook adhesive like corner stickers, so you can use them in place of double-sided tape. And I take those with me like in my book in case I'm out somewhere and I don't have tape and I need it for some reason, like if I was away overnight somewhere, I guess. I don't tend to, I haven't used this bit yet. I'm open to changing my mind, but for the time being I'm not sure what I would put there. And I use the calendar pages the same way that you use any calendar pages. I write down appointments and things I need to remember, and then I just decorate the rest of stickers. So these coloured stickers, the circles, are the days when I need to take extra note of the things that I'm doing, I guess. It tends to be the more important events, so not necessarily recurring appointments, but one-off events that I might forget. And I normally will fill it out gradually and then decorate it sort of midway through the month. As you can see, April is still quite empty, but I've been writing in my appointments and then I'll decorate it sort of in a few days' time. I'll start. I haven't used these pages. I'm not really too worried about overfilling the book. Maybe that'll be a nice goal for next year, is to make use of all of the pages, but for the time being I'm not too worried. This year the focus is just to use it consistently throughout the year. A few blank pages here and there I think are fine, like I think that's natural. I'm not too worried about holding myself to an unattainable perfection level. I just want to make sure that I'm using it consistently as much as I can each month. So people ask how the pages work. So if I show you a more recent page, I'm behind this week. I was behind for most of March. Okay, let's use these. So at the top here, there's some tick boxes that are drawn into the book, and I use that for tracking habits or good activities that I want to consistently keep up. So I've chosen engage with a special interest because I find that impacts my daily well-being quite profoundly. And then it says do a little work, just because sometimes I think a lot of work is an unfair expectation. But if I do a little work, I think it's important to acknowledge that I've done something, and that's always the goal, is just to even do one thing. Drink 1 bottle of water, because again, I think 1 bottle of water is better than no bottle of water. Self-care, and then I'll normally write down the video game that I'm playing at the time, or the interest that I'm into at the time. For most of this book so far, it's been Stardew Valley. And then the final one is Walk with Wednesday. That's something I do most days. Sometimes I'll take 1 day off a week, but that's a pretty consistent thing. And then if you can see, this is, I think it's called like I think they call it an invisible line or an invisible margin or something, but it's basically just a really faint line that runs down sort of like one side of the book. It's not quite center, and that's so that you can use these hours along here as an hour timeline if you want to use it that way. I don't usually, but it is a really cool feature that I like is there, because if I wanted to use it, I would love it. But at the moment I'm not, because I don't tend to live on a strict schedule. So this side is where I keep my to-do lists. Sometimes I'll break it up in the middle of the day with a line if I'm doing more in the afternoon, or if I have a particular task I need to remember, then sometimes I'll break it up to separate it from my normal tasks. It's just like a visual way of reminding me something a bit more, I don't know, a bit more pointedly, I guess. It draws my eye to the page and then I can find it a bit quicker, I guess. I can't pretend that makes any sense. And then this side I use for just small journaling about my day. What I talk about really varies, but it's just notes about the day. I collect things like cinema tickets in here. I collect things in my other notebook too, but dated stuff I tend to keep in the planner section, just because I think it's nice that it's a dated planner, and then I can connect the days, I guess. So I collect cinema tickets, and I decorate with these small stickers. I don't want to over decorate because I wouldn't want it to be that much upkeep. And again, I'll often wait a few days. So in April so far, I haven't done much sticker decorating. I'll often come and do that in bulk after like half the month or something, just because then it's a designated activity rather than something I have to consistently keep up with, I guess. But essentially the whole thing is just doing what I can where I can, and there not being any pressure either way. Because once it feels pressureful, I think it's harder to keep up with. Small stickers. And I'll show you what's in my pencil case too, but I'll do it quite quickly, and then if you guys want a bigger breakdown, I can do that another time. I also sometimes will collect illustrations I've been working on, small updates. Index card illustrations. Stamps, I really like stamps, so often I have those rattling around in here. Sometimes I'll just print out sort of funny pictures to do with the dates or things like that. Some work again. This one, more work, twice. Basically anything that I feel I want to collect on a particular day, I will. Another cinema ticket. Photo from my birthday, which was on the 16th. Some music I was listening to. I want to do more of this, but the printer I use for it is this one. It's a Pooley printer. I'll put the link in the description. I can never find it, but I'm running out of paper inside, so that's why I've not done it since. But this is really nice. I liked doing this, and I'm intending to do more of that, just because I think it was quite nice, and every time I look back I'm like, oh, that's when I was listening to that, and it's nice. Yeah, more illustrations. Quotes sometimes. Again, this was done with the Pooley printer. It's nice because it prints on thermal paper, but it's meant to be really long lasting. Apparently it will last like 10 years or something, or maybe longer. I can't remember what they said. But it's an easy way to print without having to, you know, find something online and then use my laptop and my home printer and then have to cut it out and stick it in. Like it prints like a little receipt, and I quite like that. This was some soup and cheese toasties that my dad and I had. It was just a good day, so I printed it out because it was just a really nice memory. It was just a standard lunchtime, but it was nice. It was a nice time. This is just Sherlock Holmes collecting. And that's kind of what I collect in here. I use a lot of my own stickers on the calendar pages. And that's all I have in here at the moment. I don't tend to use many of the back pages at the moment either. Again, maybe when I change book in June, or July, June, I will. I honestly just forgot. I like the favorites page though. I miss using that, so I might do that again. And then the My 100 is also good, but I don't think I do anything consistently enough to collect 100. So we'll see. But I love their features. I love that you have these options in the Hobonichi books. I do really like it. The timetable is good too, if I ever did anything. I like that there are all these options in the back of them. And these are just really nice. They're really beautiful. Like the stretches, we love to see it. These are in-bed stretches. That is valuable information. Not sure what these ones are. Addresses and stuff maybe. Or emergency information. Units of measurement. It's a conversion table, which is good. Gifts. See, this is cool. This is where you can write down gifts you want to give people or gifts that you've received. I think that's really smart. I keep that stuff digital so I can have links, but I like that I could put it there. This one's your contact information. And each Hobonichi book comes with a unique stamp, and I just think that's also really neat. I like that attention to detail, I guess. And then my second book is an A6. The notebook is A6, by the way. Hopefully that will be clear, but just in case. It's the A6 books. And 2 books are designed to fit together in one cover. And I love they did that. Like, it's good. People ask me why I changed books so frequently, but my system stayed the same. And I think it's because my system always worked for me. But finding the right books was not always so easy. Sometimes things work short term and I thought they were like the answer, and it didn't really turn out that way over time. But these, I don't want to say they're the one because like I'll be laughing at myself in 6 months, but I think they are. Like, I love how this all comes together, and I love that if I need to, I can take a book out and just take the loose book and not worry about it, or when I can change this one out and keep this one. You know, like I like that. So this is my commonplace book. That's how I refer to it. Traditionally, by definition, a commonplace book doesn't contain things like thoughts or feelings. It's meant to just be collected information. So like quotes, passages of text, written out articles and stuff like that. Or notes on a particular interest or topic of discussion. But I use it more in the very simple definition of commonplace. It's just the place where I put everything, including thoughts and feelings and stuff. And it's nice to keep some of that stuff out of my daily journal or like planner. I don't know why, it just is. So when I want to ramble about something really silly, it's not necessarily in the daily notebook. So I put everything here. That's the only way to say it, is I collect a lot of things and everything just goes in the commonplace. This is Halley's Comet. And then this was an article about copying out writing by hand that I found on the Isla. This is a quote again with the poorly printer, and it's about notebooks. This was some Stardew Valley reference, because if you ever played, you know there's like a lot of really weird information to try and keep track of, and if you usually sit with the wiki open on like 30 tabs to try and keep track of it all. But it's nice to have it in my notebook too, I think. And I'll go through the dot index as well, because that's something that a lot of people seem to ask about. It's not just for decoration, they do have meanings, and it's not complex. So orange is for reference. Those are things I need to refer back to. So if I think, oh, I need to find this particular piece of information, and I know it's a reference piece, I can flick through the orange dots and find it. It's as simple as that, really. Green is for written out text. So this was an article that I copied out by hand. This was a quote. So then they have the green dots to show that they're not my words, but words I took from somewhere else to collect. Some more green. Yellow is personal. So that's all of my like nonsensical ramblings and thoughts. Blue is for work. So these were Patreon notes from the feedback I got at the beginning of the year. This was notes for when I first considered making videos again a couple of months ago. This is just some work that I put in. It's nice when I go through to have these because it reminds me of when I wrote them. I don't date anything in this book because I use it on and off. I'll sometimes go weeks without using anything, and then I'll write 12 pages in a day, so I don't really want it to be dated. But it's nice to have little bits of drawing and photos and stuff, because it helps me know when in time I did it, I guess. So some work stuff. These were notes for the 4th issue of Mundane. Some personal stuff down here. This was from the new Wes Anderson film. Just a shopping list, I think. Some stickers and a poem. Some work stuff. The red one. Oh, red one is for special interest. I don't actually use that very often because a lot of the stuff I write about is special interests. But red is for special interest, and Stardew Valley is a special interest for me, which is why there's a yellow one and a red one, because I was thinking about a special interest, if that makes sense. When there's two colours, it's because it's both categories somehow. A lot of time I'm collecting quotes. There's a lot of green, and green is the sticker that I run out of the fastest. This one was references for my tattoos. I now have these two. I'm still on the fence about this one. So that was reference for the illustrations and yellow for the thoughts that accompany it because it's personal. These were from birthday cards. I just think it's neat to see the way different people write my name. Some work thoughts, some personal stuff. Again, a Deliveroo sticker, and this little sticker my dad got in some kind of shop order he placed. I think it's a hot dog when they cut them to make them look like little octopuses with a little ketchup hat. I thought he was good. I'll often put things in with paper clips if they're temporary or if I'm just not committed to gluing them. This was from when I missed some post. This one is from when I ordered a zine from Good Press Books in Glasgow. I think they're in Glasgow. Yeah, Glasgow. This was an article about index cards. This means fair play in Welsh, and that came from a really cool zine. One day I'll go through my zine collection because I'd love to share it. And again, this is just work stuff and quotes. I folded this page for no particular reason, I just thought it was kind of ugly. I have no idea what this is because I didn't tag it and I'm not going to read it. My new business cards. It's nice to collect small things like that so I can keep off, I guess. This was a little dish I got from Etsy. It's a greyhound, but I thought it looked enough like Wednesday for me to keep her collars and her tags in it. It's really cute. She has a crate that's like a sideboard, and so there's room on top for like a lamp and stuff. So I'm trying to make it like cuter for her. And that's where I am. It's not masses, it's about 40 pages. I've been busy doing other stuff. I have periods where I fixate more on collecting information in books like this, and then periods where I'm busy and this is the busier area. But I like having both. I feel like I'm covered with both. This is my pencil board that I got from Hobonichi. I like it. You can use it as a ruler, as you can see by all the pen marks and the smudges. It's a great ruler. I don't know how it's so good at being a ruler, but it is. In the past, I've used things like an ID card as a ruler, so I guess it makes sense. But it is perfect for it, so I keep it in here. And you can also mark your day with it, which is cute. But because it is such a good ruler, I often keep it in the back of the book, and I don't tend to take it out very much because it replaces the need for a metal ruler or something, which is nice. The margins, something people ask about all the time is the margins I use. And it's really just to help break the page up, because otherwise the pages are very big. In the beginning you can see where I wrote a few pages and I didn't use margins. Like this one, and it feels like it goes on forever. Like trying to fill this space I don't like it. I know that's really silly, but I don't like how wide I guess the pages are. My writing is so small. Maybe if your writing was bigger it wouldn't feel like such an issue, but I don't enjoy trying to fill a page this way. And I don't enjoy leaving pages half filled. But I also don't enjoy when you have to cut it. I taped that one down a bit to hold it. This, for example. So when it's cut in half and then it just like it's okay, but I don't prefer it. So for personal preference, I like to use margins. So the inside margin is just to have an inside margin. It's a good place to put bullet points and numbers and index stickers. And then the outer margin is just for additional comments. I like being able to comment on the stuff that I've already written or I'm thinking about, so I can copy out an article, for example, and then I can write notes about why I liked it or which part of it I thought was relevant to my interests or my current motivations, I guess. It's just a nice place to have additional thoughts. And then if you ever are writing about something that's really simple, like in one part I was working out the cost of some shop products, and to fill like 3% of a page with that would be so annoying. But because I have those margins, I was able to just drop it in the margin, and it fills up enough space that it looks fine. And and it doesn't waste a whole like little, because if I wrote this out side by side, it would literally be like this big. It's just nice to put it there instead, and it's easier to see. I like to use the space sensibly, I guess. I don't want to waste paper, especially not with books as beautiful as this. And because you have to import them from Japan, it can be expensive. It is expensive. So I just want to make sure I'm making the most out of what I have. And ultimately I love a margin. Like, how neat does that look? I can't lie and pretend that half of it's not for aesthetics, because if you know me, you know that it is. So I just think it looks good. I like things, I need things to be functional and pretty. And that is my goal in life. Like, what is the point of having one without the other, in my opinion? So that's why margins are so functional, because you can add notes and you can elaborate on something you've already finished writing, or you can revisit and add new notes, and that's so cool. I love that. You could even tape up like a Dutch door second layer to your margin if you wanted to. I don't think that would technically be called a Dutch door, but you could have like a flap for your margin, and you could have 2 layers of margin, and I just think that would be neat, although it would be a folding nightmare. But yeah, that's all the margins are for. It's not complicated, it's just practical. Here was a quote, and I didn't have thoughts on the quote, I just wanted to collect it. So then I was writing here, and then I elaborated on these thoughts here, because I didn't think it was worth filling up a new page and then having to elaborate again if I wanted to. Because this topic is done now, and it's neat, it fits. And that's why I do it, really. I buy my index stickers from Ryman's, I think, in the UK. It's a stationery chain, it's so expensive. But they're hard to find sometimes. I don't really want to buy them from Amazon because I don't want to support Amazon. In the back, sometimes I keep things like stickers, but I tend to keep those in my pencil case now. I have an index card that's empty. But there's all these pockets. It's great. It's a really good system. There's also the 2, this is attached to the cover, the 2 bookmarks, but I don't use them. I just keep them neat. Pen loops to hold the book shut. It's just practical, you know? It's just good. I love it.